So I used to think strength meant standing tall, speaking loud, moving fast. But when my world broke, so did that definition. What if true strength isn't about what you can do, but what you choose to do when everything you knew is gone? What if your pain doesn't disqualify you, but prepares you to rise in a different kind of power? Today is about realizing that my disability is not a weakness, it's a different kind of strength. Hello and welcome to this episode. Sometimes it takes losing everything you thought made you you to finally meet the person you were meant to become. I want this to sink in. It sometimes takes losing everything to finally meet that person within you that you were meant to become. I am Ruby, and this is InspireAbility. Today's episode isn't just about what happened to me after my accident, it's about what awakened in me because of it. The strength I didn't even know I had, the skills, the giftings I didn't even know I possessed at the time. This isn't the kind of strength that wins medals or builds empires. This is the strength that shows up when the world stops clapping, when your body doesn't listen, when the mirror reflects a version of you you barely recognize. But somehow you keep breathing, and slowly, miraculously, you keep rising. Let's talk about this kind of strength. What did they say is my first topic of discussion. In the early days after the accident, everyone could see the me that could not walk again, that needed support. What they didn't see was the real damage, the rupture inside, the identity crisis. They saw the wheelchair, they saw the crutches, but they didn't see what was happening deep down. If asked, I would describe my first few days back after my accident as a scene setting, being dusty shoes by the front door, coffee cup left untouched, files from a post career, family photos on the wall. My house looks the same, but I didn't. In that contrast, I started mourning. Not just the accident, not just the version of me I thought I had lost. I recall some of the hardest days trying to get from my bed to my bathroom unaided and falling. Oh, I had so many falls. And I just refused to give in, regardless of how many falls I had. It was too hard, too painful to think of the things I had lost. No one saw it. Hours on the floor until somebody came on to help. No one had it, but it became a turning point for me. Those days, I didn't just fall, I broke. But it was in those moments that I realized that even shattered pieces carry light. I realized that shattered pieces can still bear heavy things. They can shine touches in any form of darkness, and light can spring forth from any, any situation and circumstance. I remember saying and writing down several times, I'm still here. I'm still trying. I'm still moving. I will not be held back. Let's talk about invisible mountains. My mountains weren't the physical limitations. It was the pressure to be fine, to perform resilience even when I was not feeling it. There were societal expectations. I had to reassure others. I was being labeled inspirational while feeling completely broken inside. I was smiling through unbearable pain. People praised my courage, but sometimes I was just surviving minute by minute, and that is also strength. I recall the struggles of parenting from bed, trying to help with homework, give instructions while hiding tears. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. It was the only way I could parent at the time. The struggles of trying to lift a baby when I know I shouldn't, when I know I couldn't, but I still had to look after my lovely, lovely baby. And sometimes showing up imperfectly is the bravest thing you can do. I later understood that allowing myself to grieve publicly helped others too, especially my children. I initially thought that it made me look weak, and my culture doesn't necessarily encourage such huge display of emotions, so it was hard. But I learned by experience that it was okay to cry. It's okay to be seen crying, and that this was helping my children to build up very good emotional resilience. It was not showing me as weak before then, but was making them stronger, compassionate, empathetic people, loving and caring. So it was okay to let them see me cry. Strength isn't hiding pain. Strength is showing that healing is messy, but it's still very beautiful. I had this post that summed it up very nicely. One step, one day, one breath at a time. It pushed me through months of struggles, personal, internal struggles. The power of redefining strength. We all need this power, and we not all need to exercise it to shift from situations, especially very difficult ones. We've been fed the wrong definition of strength, and it's time we unlearn this. We often face the difficulty of challenging the traditional narrative of resilience. There is a very important Japanese quote that says something about our cracks not defining us, broken pottery with gold. And when those cracks are not meant to ruin us, they actually do reveal us. So if your scars aren't flaws, then you need to remember to see them as maps to your deeper self. Those scars that reflect in the mirrors, when you see them, let them help you see your inner, deeper self, your true self, not your flaws, not your limitations, not your weaknesses, but the deep strength hiding inside of you that need to come out for the whole world to see and for you to move to the person you ought to be. As a faith person, this helped and it redefined what strength meant for me. I realized that God didn't ask me to pretend I wasn't struggling. He asked me to trust Him anyway, and I was glad I did. And that was the strength that became, that was the strength that helped me. Trust without proof, hope without sight. There was a time that I chose to speak at a community event, still in pain, unsure if I could manage to say anything I had to say. I was terrified, but I showed up, voice shaking, heart pounding. And afterwards, someone told me, "You didn't just inspire me, you freed me." That's when I knew this strength is not mine to keep, it's mine to share. I'm finding a new me that shouldn't just be hid behind the four walls of my building, of my home. I need to share the new me with several people so that we can draw strength with one another and become the resilient people we ought to be. When strength surprises you, the most surprising thing about strength, can you think of any? Is that it often shows up when you are convinced you don't have any. The strength will just come up from nowhere and you'll be surprised by its appearance. There were days that I wrote down in my note that I don't feel strong today, but I'm still here. That has count for something. It has to count for something. And looking back, it counted for everything. I did not need to be strong. I did not need to be a superwoman. I was still there. And that was what counted. That was what was important. And that was what I needed to keep me going for that day and to see me through till the next day. I invite you today to look at your own quiet wins. This can be getting out of bed on hard days, asking for help, choosing to hope again. Strength isn't always loud. Sometimes it whispers, "Not today, but maybe tomorrow." Strength isn't necessarily what everyone defines it to be. Strength is what enables you to show up on a daily basis, in spite and despite of those things working very contrary to your showing up. And in that pause, that place of quiet, you can begin to rebuild. In your own strength, your definition of strength, you can begin to be who you ought to be. Building your resilience, staying strong and true to your new self, and forging ahead with hope and faith and trust that you are becoming who you should always be. You may not see your strength yet, but it is there. In fact, that you showed up in that breath you took, in that food you managed to put down, in those tears that you let flow very freely, though quietly, in that smile you managed, in that encouragement you offered despite your own challenges, in that help you sought where you needed it. All of those things are true show of strength. They're amazing qualities that you probably never knew you had, but those are strengths that should be celebrated. And here's what I want you to do. Tell me in the comments, when did you realize you were stronger than you thought you were? Share this with someone who might need reminding, because we don't rise alone, we rise together. To share this video, let's encourage those that are downtrodden, weak, and feeling feeble. Let us remind ourselves that we are stronger than we think or know we are, and we can rise up to every and all challenge. I want you to know that you are strong, you are all, and that no matter the challenge, I want you to always remember that you can live fully, thrive with support, and keep moving forward with hope. This is InspireAbility. Let's rise together, uniquely us. I strive daily to be uniquely me, and I want you to do the same, staying uniquely you. Thank you for watching. Until next time, it's bye for now.